This is Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. Here's your host, Mark News.
We are pleased to have with us today on Columbus Concerns the president and CEO of the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Tom Schmid. And Tom, thanks so much for stopping by today.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
There are always things going on at the Columbus Zoo, and I know coming up you've got your 37th year of Wildlights.
Yeah, Wildlights it's a major program for the zoo, and you're right, 37 years, and each year we try to make it even better. And I don't want to reveal too much, but we've got some really exciting new technology that we're going to be showcasing this year. Projection mapping on some of our buildings, some of the things that folks in Columbus probably haven't seen before. Certainly they haven't seen it before at the zoo. So in addition to the millions of lights and great food and beverage and all the holiday activities, that's going to be a pretty exciting new development.
And Wildlights this year opens to the public on November 21st with a member night on November 20th. With Wildlights being so popular, it seems like every year you get one of those really warm days and you get thousands of people. You get a little bit of a traffic jam going on up there. What are some of your tips for people to come out and visit Wildlights?
Yeah, well, first of all, we do encourage our guests, if they are coming on one of those perfect nights, to just plan ahead. Know there's going to be some delays coming in and out, and just have some patience. So maybe consider coming a little bit earlier, maybe leaving a little bit earlier, those kinds of things. We have done a lot to improve parking operations. We have a pretty large security, safety, and parking team. They're out there in the parking lots. They're directing traffic. We've got new traffic directional signage out there that will help people exit. Also, we continue to work with our local partners at the City of Powell and Delaware County Sheriff's Department, and they can help us by actually making adjustments to the traffic light to allow flow. So, there's a lot that we do to make sure that guests can exit easily and quickly. But again, if we get 25,000 people, that's just there's going to be some wait, unfortunately.
Oh, absolutely. You're not on a major freeway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Talk a little bit about Wildlights. It seems like it's one of those things that for many people has become a family tradition.
Yeah. I remember the first time I experienced it. I joined the team in the fall of 2021. And it's pretty magical. I mean, folks love the zoo, as you know. We've been around for 98 years, and folks have always built a lot of memories at the zoo. But there's something about that holiday experience. I think just seeing all the lights, all the activities. I mean, the zoo brings people together, and when you combine that with a sort of a holiday atmosphere, it really does create meaningful experiences. We talk to a lot of our members, and many of them actually buy their membership. They love to go to the zoo in the summer, but specifically so they can attend the Wildlights program. So it's just a tradition that continues to go and grow every year.
We're pleased to have with us the president and CEO of the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Tom Schmid. And speaking of how popular the zoo is, the voters of Franklin County just renewed the zoo levy, which was a very big deal for you. And it passed by 62%, which is a great margin. Talk a little bit about what that tax money allows you to do.
Sure. So we're so thankful for the Franklin County voters, and to me that was really an affirmation of the direction that we're going, what we provide to the community, and those funds actually help directly with the operation of the zoo. So care for the animals, our animal food budget is over $2 million a year. So veterinary care, we're one of the few veterinary care zoologically facilities that has a CT scanner on premises, so we can do incredible high-tech diagnostics with all of our animal collection. All of our facilities, as you can imagine, we have a huge zoo, a lot of maintenance needs, and these funds help support our facilities team and really help keep the zoo looking as good as it does. And quite honestly, it helps kind of keep the prices a little bit lower than they would be. I mean, we're one of the largest zoos. We have one of the longest lengths of stay, yet the price to get in is pretty typical of a mid-tier zoo. So we're able to keep that admission price relatively low because of the support we get from Franklin County residents.
And the zoo generates an enormous economic impact.
Yeah, it's pretty significant. So we're a large organization. Combined, we're a little over $110 million. We have 400 full-time employees, thousands of seasonal and part-time employees. But in addition to that, we support nearly 4,000 jobs in the area. The economic impact is over $200 million a year. And what we see, particularly locally in Delaware County, we've actually done studies to see where people go before they go to the zoo, where they go after. The restaurants, there are so many restaurants and businesses that in Central Ohio, in Delaware County, and Franklin County, that derive a significant portion of their revenue from the zoo and from our visitors traveling to and from the zoo. So while it's not our mission, we take that seriously. We are a big economic driver, not only locally, but also for tourism in the area. And that's one of our long-term strategic goals, is to continue to increase that, improve that, and make Central Ohio more of a leisure travel destination for folks from all over the Midwest and really all over the country. Last year, we saw people from every single state in the union visit the Columbus Zoo, and that's the other driver of that economic impact.
Where do you look to try to draw people in? How big of a footprint do you market to try to get people to come to the zoo?
So that's continuing to grow. Currently, we focus largely locally, regionally, but we're beginning to reach out to the larger Midwest area. So our goal is to bring people from Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and the Seas, Cleveland and Cincinnati, but also Indianapolis, Chicago, to come to Columbus, to come to Central Ohio, to come to the Columbus Zoo, and maybe spend a couple of days there between the golf course, the water park, the zoo, our safari park at the Wilds. It's only about an hour away from downtown. It's really a multi-day experience if you want to experience everything that we have to offer. So we're trying to package that as part of a destination package. So when folks are traveling from out of town, they come here, they can spend several days visiting not just all of our attractions, but the other attractions like COSI and Franklin Park Conservatory, and maybe go to a Columbus Crew game or a Blue Jackets game. So there's a lot that we have to offer here, and we want to continue to work with our partners to build that. We want Central Ohio to be a leisure travel destination.
Well, it has been a busy time at the zoos this year. You've had zoo babies, and I know that you're really proud of the work you've done when it comes to the elephants and the breeding program. Tell us about what's happened.
Yeah, so that's, it's pretty exciting. It's the first time we've had 2 calves born in 1 year. And I remember when I first started about 4 years ago, I sat down with a lot of our animal care leaders, and I wanted to talk about our elephant program, because what we've seen around the country is that a number of zoos have given up their elephant program. They've shipped their elephants to other facilities, other zoos, sanctuaries. It's very costly to maintain elephants. It takes a lot of staff and personnel, a lot of space. But we really made the decision we wanted to really lean into our elephant program. So we're working on some major improvements and expansions to the yard. We've already done some of that. We actually had 1 rhino here several years ago. That rhino is now living at another zoo with a number of other rhinos, and that space now allowed us to expand our elephant yard. We hired additional staff. We hired a new curator to come on board with a lot of experience. And then probably as importantly, we did something that no other zoo in the world has ever done. We've actually launched a Center for Species Survival for Asian elephants in India, working with the Wildlife Trust of India and the International Union for the Conservation of Nature to develop this new center. This will be a multi-million-dollar program over the next 5 to 10 years. And the goal is to really save Asian elephants from extinction. So bringing partners from all the different range countries where Asian elephants live together to try to come up with mitigation strategies to reduce human-elephant conflict, to help save elephants from extinction. There's a number of major zoos around the world that have developed a center, but they typically do them on their own campus. We thought if we really want to save Asian elephants from extinction, we can't do it in Columbus. We can't do it in Powell. We have to do it in India. And so we're now in year 2 of that program, and we're really starting to see some impacts of that. So all this to say that when folks come and see these baby elephants and have a great experience, they're not only helping support the zoo, but they're helping support Asian elephants in the wild through the creation of this new center, because part of their admission price to go to the zoo actually helps support that center.
How much of what you do and what you focus on has to do with conservation?
Well, I would say it's the reason we exist. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if you think about, what's the purpose of a zoo, a modern day zoo, certainly, we create amazing experiences for families, the educational impact. Over 100,000 kids visit the zoo every year to learn about animals, learn about environmental conservation. All those things are critical, but ultimately, I view it as our moral license. If we have animals in our care we have to make sure that we're saving them in the wild. I mean, to me, that is the moral license for operating a modern zoo. And so it's a critical part of what we do. It's the number one strategy in our strategic plan. And what you're going to see over the next 5 to 10 years is significant scaling up of that wildlife conservation work, both here in Ohio and around the world.
You've also had great success when it comes to the manatee rescue and rehabilitation partnership.
We have, and I'm glad you brought that up because we made a major advance in that as well. So for over 20 years, we've served as a rescue and rehabilitation facility. So you get orphan calves that need a home, that need a place to grow up. They're brought here. We work with other partners. We grow them up. We get them ready, and then we release them back out in the wild where they have a much higher survival success rate. But we knew that if we really wanted to save manatees from extinction, we can't just do it in Florida and we can't just do it in Columbus. So again, modeled somewhat after what we're doing in India, this year we launched a consortium, a conservation consortium for Caribbean manatees throughout the Caribbean region. And so that center just launched. We're again bringing the different countries and states around the Caribbean together to come up with mitigation strategies to try to save manatees from extinction. So that was the natural evolution, but a big step forward in expanding our conservation focus on manatees.
You know, Ohio is pretty lucky to have some very nice zoos and some very nice facilities. The Columbus Zoo probably being the crown jewel of that. But how do you work with the other zoos, or do you, here in the state?
So a lot. In fact, I was just up at Akron Zoo on Saturday. We really do. I mean, I'm obviously proud of what we do at Columbus Zoo, but if you think about the size of size of the state of Ohio, we have some of the best zoos in the country here. Cincinnati Zoo, Cleveland Metro Park Zoo are outstanding. Toledo Zoo, remarkable zoo. Akron, just the quality of their exhibits there. So we work with a number of different partners. Toledo Zoo, we work specifically on polar bear conservation. We work with a team at Cincinnati. Both the zoo and the wilds actually have partnerships with Cincinnati Zoo working on threatened species, both here in Ohio and around the world. So a lot of partnership, a lot of interaction, some friendly competition as well. But ultimately, these are our partners in conservation, and we continue to work and enjoy working with all of them.
Tom Schmid is here, and he is the president and CEO of the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. And Tom, I have to be honest, I've been waiting for days to ask you this. What is a snot otter?
A snot otter. So it is the largest amphibian in North America. And the eastern hellbender, it's an endangered species. It's a species that we've been working on helping repopulate for a number of years now. And they're a biological indicator for the health of rivers and streams in Ohio. And so when you see populations of hellbenders decrease, that oftentimes is a sign that there's some water quality issues. And so working with our new conservation biologist that we just hired, Greg Lips, he's managing a lot of our local conservation programs, and we continue we'll collect a hellbender from the wild. We'll extract the eggs. We'll actually culture those, reproduce, grow up they're basically amphibians, so they're little salamanders. Grow them up to a certain size and then release them back into rivers around Ohio. We've released over 2,000 hellbenders or snot otters to rivers around Ohio, and now we've actually gone back and we continue to assess the sites where they're released. We're now starting to see some of the hellbenders that we've released years ago that have grown up and are mature now. So there's a really good indication that what we're doing is working, that we're beginning to replenish this iconic species, and also helping to monitor water quality and just bringing awareness to the importance of rivers throughout the state of Ohio.
And let's get back to the babies for just a moment. I know you just launched a program to name one of the baby elephants. How does that work?
We sure did. So we wanted to really use it as an opportunity to get some community engagement. It's remarkable when we make announcements. When we had the birth of Rita Jean, for example, tens of thousands, I would say actually hundreds of thousands of engagements online. People from all over the country would check in on progress, and there's a real ownership for not just in Central Ohio, but folks around the country who have maybe seen our television show that have heard of Jack Hanna, that know about the Columbus Zoo. And so this is a chance for us to say, okay, help us figure out what we're going to name this young calf. And it's just a way, I think, to build a lot of community spirit and ownership and buy-in with our community. So we're excited about that. I have no idea what the name is going to be. I'm sort of advocating for Thomas Henry, which is my name. I think that's not going to work.
Probably not.
But I thought Thomas Jean and Rita Jean, or Thomas Henry and Rita Jean, that sounds pretty good. But no, we'll get some great names. We'll get some great ideas. And I look forward to making that announcement soon.
And if you can, update us on what's going on at the Wilds.
Yeah, so the Wilds, we've had a great year out there. The Wilds is an amazing place. There's so much to see and do out there. It's hard to do it in one day. So in addition to, we've got a lot of different lodging opportunities. We recently added another yurt. Yurts are an amazing way to spend the night out there. We've got cabins. But this year we opened up actually the Hellbender RV campground. So named after that iconic species that we're focused on. It's a great new opportunity for folks to bring their RV over to the wild, spend a couple of days, and really have a great experience out there. So we're excited about that. We're working on a lot of infrastructure projects. We spent a significant amount of money to bring internet to the wilds for the first time. We've got fresh water now coming in. That was as you probably know, that was an area that was surface mined. So there was literally nothing out there 25, 30 years ago. And as AEP was doing the mitigation, adding topsoil, adding plants, and beginning to restore that land, we continue to do that today. So restoration ecology is a big part of what we do at the wilds, in addition to holding assurance populations of species and beginning to reintroduce extinct or endangered species back into the wild. So really exciting programming. And we've got the newest feature. It's not open yet, but we just broke ground on a new giraffe barn, and there will be a guest suite in that giraffe barn. So if you want to spend the night with a giraffe, you'll be able to do that out the wilds probably sometime toward the end of next year.
That is fantastic. ColumbusZoo.org. You can find out anything you need to know about the zoo at their website. The president and CEO, Tom Schmid, is here with us today. Tom, if you would, tell us a little bit about how you got into animal conservation and how you got into this business.
Yeah, so I grew up in South Florida and spent a lot of time in my youth outside in the water in the Caloosahatchee River, the Gulf of Mexico, and that's just how I grew up. And so you can relate. Back then there were 3 channels on the TV, and you just didn't watch much TV. There was no such thing as the internet. So you grew up outside, and I think that really inspired sort of an interest and a desire to learn more about the marine environment. So I went to college, went to graduate school, studied marine biology, and was really sort of interested in sharks. So studied shark biology. And as I was finishing up my graduate work, I got a call from SeaWorld in Orlando. They recruited me to help manage their shark program and do some research there regarding shark bioenergetics. What does it take to sort of run a shark on a day-to-day basis in a modern aquarium? So did that for a number of years, really enjoyed that experience, and then went up to Norfolk, Virginia got recruited to help open a new, it was kind of a hybrid aquarium museum, science center, and naval history museum. So a little bit different organization. First time working for a not-for-profit, a 501c3 organization. Really enjoyed that experience, building, growing that facility. Then got recruited to go to Texas back to sort of a traditional aquarium program. So we did that for about 20 years and was just kind of finishing up sort of I think it was our 4th strategic plan and our 3rd major capital campaign there. We grew that aquarium from one of the smallest aquariums in the country. Now I think it's the 6th or 7th largest aquarium in North America. But I got a call from a recruiter that said there was an opportunity at the Columbus Zoo. And so never thought I would run a zoo, but it's been a great experience so far and just really rewarding being in this community and leading this institution.
So you've been here 4 years. What does the future hold for the zoo?
Well, we've got a really bright future. I think I'm really excited. We touched on some of the elements of our strategic plan, really scaling our conservation work, moving from, I think our current status is sort of a really top-notch seasonal regional attraction to more of a year-round destination for the Midwest and for the nation. So really scaling that work up, I think, is exciting. we're in the very early stages of essentially a fundamental transformation to all of our campuses. You saw the first of that this year with the opening of North America Trek. That was about a $35 million project. So many more projects in the future. We'll be making some really exciting announcements probably sometime in the first quarter, second quarter of 2026. But the future is really exciting. I'm exactly where I need to be, excited to be in this community with all the growth that we're seeing in Central Ohio. The Columbus Zoo is sort of on the precipice of a pretty major transformation. So stay tuned.
Do you still have room to grow up there?
We actually do. We have a, and that's really, I have to give our predecessors, I think about Jack Hanna and Jerry Boren, who accumulated land. We have over 600 acres to work with. That's probably more land than just about any other zoo, any other major urban zoo in the country. And so that's a huge advantage for us. But even within that, many of the things that we're going to be doing, for example, North America Trek, we really didn't add space. We had enough space. We just transformed that space. And so a lot of this is certainly building new, adding new, but also really transforming and upgrading and making major improvements to some of the habitats and facilities that we have currently today.
Our guest on the program today has been the president and CEO of the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium, Tom Schmid. Tom, thanks so much for stopping by and giving us a lot of good information about a very important institution here in Central Ohio.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. You can send questions or comments about today's show to Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215, or email us at columbusconcerns@napcomedia.com.